to thank the city, the council, my tribal council, as well as city and state, and as well as the caballeros, for all of us working together to make things happen. I think as time goes, city, state, counties, and the tribal, if we all collaborate, communicate, we'll make things happen. With that, thank you.
Gary? Come on up here. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Gary Delgado, and I am the current president of the Caballeros de Vargas. On behalf of the Caballeros de Vargas, I am here to speak in support of the amendment to request that the statue of the Vargas be placed in a respectful, safe, and educational and public location in the New Mexico History Museum on a temporary basis. I believe this is a good first step to restoring access to the public to the De Vargas statue. Over the past few months, we have met with the mayor, city staff, local native Pueblo leaders, and representatives of the Office of Cultural Affairs to discuss the best location to honorably display the statues. I would like to thank all of them for coming to the table with open, honest, and respectful dialogue. We recognize that the placement of the De Vargas statue in the New Mexico History Museum may not be the permanent solution, but is the first step in returning the statue to a place of honor and dignity where it is accessible to our local Santafesinos and visitors alike. We will continue to work with the governing body to determine any future and permanent location for the De Vargas statue, as this remains a priority for our organization. We have a complicated history, but collaborations and cooperations such as this are an example of how we all strive to continue to live, learn, and coexist with the many different cultures that make up our beautiful city and state, where we are all allies, neighbors, and even kin. Thank you so much. Chairman?
Greetings and good afternoon. I'm James Mountain. I'm the chairman of the All Pueblo Council of Governors. Appreciate the opportunity to be here with the distinguished leadership. Thank you for having us here on this momentous occasion. On behalf of the All Pueblo Council of Governors, the 19 governors of the pueblos here in New Mexico, and our sister pueblo, Isleta del Sur in El Paso, the governors wish to extend our applause to the parties, City of Santa Fe, Mayor Weber, thank you, city councilors, the Caballeros de Vargas,
Yeah.
the Fiesta Council for their partnership as well, the state of New Mexico, and Governor Herrera, to you, our brother and our sister Pueblo, the Pueblo of Tesuque, and your people in the tribal council, thank you. Today is a momentous occasion. We are not reliving history, rather we are coming together to acknowledge history. In unity, through the leadership coming together in this partnership to place these statues in recognition of our histories shows a collective, bipartisan effort of our people, of our communities, and the ability and opportunity to collectively agree and commit to a truthful acknowledgement of that history and to learn from it. Today is a new history. In this collective effort, a reflection of our communities and working together by coming to this day in the spirit of this unity in good faith, in committed discussions, in truthful discussions, our people are the ones who win. Today we coexist and we reaffirm our commitments to working together to strengthening all of our communities, for all of our people. Our pueblos, our cities, our towns. Only here in New Mexico is this possible. We stand committed to faithful discussions, truthful discussions, and to learning from these discussions without the intent of erasing history, but rather learning from our history. Again, to our neighbors and partners in this good faith effort, we applaud your leadership and we ask that our community members in each of our respective communities join us, come together and support this show of unity to keep moving forward. Thank you.
My distinguished colleagues, it's a pleasure to join you today. My name is Billy Garrett. I'm the Executive Director for the New Mexico History Museum, which is the state history museum. I'm here today to confirm that the New Mexico History Museum has expressed a willingness to accept a short-term loan from the city of Santa Fe for the Don Diego de Vargas statue, provided that the loan is less than 4 years, that's the short-term part, that the condition of the statue allows for public display, and that the statue is presented in a holistic, present-day context. Just in terms of the condition of the statue, I haven't personally seen the statue. I'm following standard museum protocol to say we don't accept the loan until we've actually seen the object, and we want to make sure that we understand the condition and that we're in agreement with the city about what the condition is, and you won't get it back in worse shape. That's sort of our basic agreement. But what's important here is that we're accepting it in terms of being allowed to present this in a holistic, present-day context. I think it's important to note that these conditions are consistent with the mission, values, and purpose of the museum. And just to summarize that, we want to be a place that provides a welcoming environment for exploration of multifaceted views on history, dialogue that bridges social and cultural divides, and reflection on the conditions needed for a more resilient, just, and sustainable future. We have a purpose. This isn't just about going and looking at old cool stuff. This project is a timely response to the museum's ongoing public outreach program, because community constituents have, over the last number of years, expressed an interest in seeing the statue displayed and installed on some kind of basis in the museum. And in March, representatives from the Caballeros de Vargas did reach out to the state about the possibility of putting the statue on display in the museum. We appreciate the opportunities of the city and working forward on this, and we look forward to getting a resolution in order for us to move forward with that. But I think this is a great opportunity for dialogue, for reflection, and for being able to create the foundation to move forward. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you very much. Let me just say a couple words. I didn't mean to, I assume everybody knows who my fellow council members are and the co-sponsors, but Councilor Michael Garcia, Councilor Pilar Faulkner, Councilor Carol Romero-Worth are instrumental in bringing the resolution forward. I also want to mention that Crystal Lucero, the president of the Fiesta Council, was in all of our conversations, present and making very helpful and consistent contributions to bring us all together. Unfortunately, she's not able to be with us at this event, but all due honor and respect to her role, because we want to make sure the Fiesta Council was present and included in all of the conversations that were held in the mayor's office. So credit goes to her as well, to all of these leaders who made this happen today. So with that,
But we have time for a few questions. If anyone has any questions they want to ask.
I have a question.
Are you a reporter, sir? We're gonna wait for reporters right now.
What difference does that make? I'm a
Because this is a
citizen.
press conference, it's not a citizen event. So we're looking for reporter questions first.
I'm trying
Yes,
to.
ma'am, go ahead.
Yes, I'm wondering what the difference is in terms of the maquette, actually, of the De Vargas statue already being in public view in the convention center. It's at the latter hall, kind of towards the post office.
Yeah, and the question is, what's the difference between that and this very?
Well, in terms of the protesting by the caballeros, in that there wasn't a viewing point or availability to see an image of De Vargas when that has been there. They donated it over what were Pueblo lands of the convention center.
Yeah, I don't think there's any controversy. I think the goal is to get this really important statue back out where it can be part of the community's presence, and people can use it as an educational tool. It's a really important figure, it's an important work, and we want to get it back into public viewing, and the best place to put that, at least on a temporary basis, as noted by Executive Director Garrett, is in the History Museum.
All right,
I
Mr.
have a
Chairman.
couple of questions. The first one is understanding the chain of events, because as I understand or read the resolution, the De Vargas statue would be placed in the museum on a temporary basis, and then once a permanent home was found for De Vargas, then the statue, the runners, would be placed in the convention
No,
center.
you got it wrong. So the homes for these statues have been established for now. The statue of the runners will be in the convention center. The statue of De Vargas will be in the History Museum as guided by a dialogue between the executive director and the caballeros. It will be there for at least on a temporary basis, because that's the way it can be accepted. The governing body is absolutely open to other locations going forward, but the goal was to take a constructive first step that gets them both out in public, respectfully and safely at the same time. So to the best of our ability, logistics permitting, we'll put both of them in their new homes at the same time.
Before your second question, let's go here and then here. Yes, sir.
All right, are you worried that they won't pass council?
I'm pretty optimistic that we've got a lot of people advocating it, and I think there's a lot of support for this. I think people want to see this step taken, and I think there's a great deal of pride that we can work together to get it done.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
I'm wondering if someone up there can talk a little bit about the significance of both of these statues
Sure.
and why you want these out in the public, both of them.
Great question. Do you want to talk about the statue and then Jerry? Go ahead.
As far as our statues are concerned, the site that they're being placed in is their home. This is where they were from. So, you know, that's the reason why we want to place them there. We have the utmost respect for what they've done, so that's where we want to get them placed.
I guess I'm kind of asking if you could tell me who are the runners and, you know, what is this
History
statue?
lesson. Here's a chance for a history lesson.
When all this began, these two runners were the ones that were made to go out and send a message that something was happening. So, but in the progress, or in the process, they were captured, and they were both hung. So, maybe they got some message to some of the villages, but not all.
Thank you, sir. Jerry, talk about yours.
The Don Diego de Vargas statue is a significant history here in Santa Fe. Don Diego de Vargas came in to the city in 1692 from orders of the Presidente of Spain to come into Santa Fe and to make peace with the native people, which they did. And again, it is a significant statue to the city of Santa Fe. It's all part of all the history that's gone on at that time. And Don Diego did come in and did make peace with the native, and it's been again since 1692. So we've been living together like this for over 400 years, and I believe, again, both these statues are important to the city. Thank you.
We'll stop with Mr. Chacon and then one more.
Two questions.
Yeah, how about me?
Sir, we will welcome public comment at our June 12th public meeting. You're welcome to speak there. This is-
What do you
Excuse
mean?
us.
Are you trying to run us out, the public?
this is not
The
public-
caballeros are here.
I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
they will
Speaking.
speak for everybody.
Mr.
The
Chacon,
mayor
this
did
is-
not
sir,
call
this is not
for
appropriate.
public
This
discussion.
is not for public discussion right now, sir. This is.
Why not?
Because it's a press conference. It's
Daniel,
not
Oh,
public
what?
discussion.
What's your question?
Why is he not
You
being,
touch me and you're going to jail.
why is he not being escorted out when other people were?
Sorry, can we
Why don't you
stick to
take
the
off your
press
mask?
conference?
This is a press conference.
Can we
This is
talk
for public to ask
about the
questions, okay?
substance here rather than anything else? Because I do think this is an important day.
At some point, Mr. Mayor, please invite the public to get inputs.
Go ahead, David.
Mr. Mayor, can you tell us what kind of timeline you're looking at? And also, Mr. Delgado had mentioned that this would, that placing the Vargas statue inside the museum would be excessive, that would be excessive to the public and visitors. But if I'm not mistaken, you have to pay to go into there.
Billy, I'll talk to you about the time, and Billy can talk about steps to make sure that the public has access to it. The timeline we're working on is this summer. We'd like to get it done as quickly as possible after the council passes, I hope passes the resolution and makes it a matter of public policy, and gives instructions to the city manager to pursue the work to go ahead. In the meantime, we'll be doing some assessment of the kinds of logistics that will be required. I think we have to consult with the sculptor about how to safely get his work from his studio into the city. We're gonna obviously, as Billy mentioned, make sure that the museum has a chance to inspect that, the Vargas statue, and assure every one of its condition being very, very safe, and then organize its transport to the History Museum. So there are a few steps to take that are largely logistical, as well as making sure we get this resolution that I think will be adopted through the process of our governing body. Billy, you want to talk a little bit about the accessibility?
Sure. First and foremost is that all youth under the age of 16 have free access to the museum. And if they're coming with a group, like a teacher with them, the teachers get in. There also are days and times when all New Mexico residents are able to get in. And as part of this, we will be promoting those days and times so everybody understands when they can come in. There will be plenty of opportunity during the course of days, weeks, months.
One last question.
Yes, where exactly would it be displayed? You said public display, but where?
We are at the very beginning of the process of assessing alternative locations. We know it needs to be safe, secure, respectful. It should be a place that promotes reflection. I don't, at this point, think that we're simply gonna be putting the statue in place and walking away from it. I think that the whole idea of how we facilitate dialogue and how we encourage people to understand different points of view will be something that we'll want to figure out how to set that up. But we're not there yet. We're just at the very beginning of getting this process going.
Mr. Mayor, let's put them out in the public, don't hide them.
What I'd like to let the
Please
public
don't
know-
hide them, they're very significant parts of our history. and
Get
we
him
need to put them
out.
in the
So,
public.
excuse me, we will have, for the question about public comment, there will be, because this has to go through a public process, we will have an opportunity for people from all parts of our community to speak to the resolution. There'll be opportunities for petitions from the floor. There'll be the process of going through the different subcommittees. Absolutely open to public input, public comment. This is a press conference, it's a little bit of a different deal, but the question that the gentleman raised about will the public have a shot at expressing their point of view, the answer is absolutely. I fully expect people to come to our governing body meetings during the time when we set aside a chance for the folks to offer their views on all topics. We fully expect to hear from everybody. Daniel, one other thing about accessibility, and one of the points that everybody up here made in our conversations was the significance of learning history and education as the core of what happens next. I've had some beginning conversations with the superintendent of the Santa Fe school system to talk about ways we can make sure that what happens next involves our young people and make sure that students, not just from our public schools, but from the region, are given an opportunity to see this as a history lesson, a living history lesson. I think part of the lesson comes from the statues, but another lesson that's just as important comes from the leadership of these individuals who saw it as an opportunity to talk about unity and talk about the sense of place and the sense of sharing that everybody up here experiences. So it's going to be part getting the statues safely and respectfully positioned, but it's also important what happens next, and that is about a focus on education, history, and dialogue so that everyone benefits from what these statues can bring to the community.
If I can just add real quick, the legislation is likely to be introduced this coming Wednesday, May 29th. There will be a public comment period at 7 p.m. Any residents are welcome to come provide how they feel about the resolution at that time. If we stay on track, the council will be voting on the resolution at the June 12th meeting, and there will be public comment that evening as well. So there will be multiple opportunities for any member of the public to come and speak. And with that, thank you all for being here.
Thank you, everybody.
Is it over?
Yes, sir, we're done. Thank you.
Since it's over, I know one of you asked a question as to what was significant about the two runners, okay? And the government was not able to give you a complete, true answer. This is the answer, okay? This is the answer.
That's only part of a discussion.
Yes, but this is the answer that he was not able to answer.
Actually, there would be more to that, so you don't have a full education.
Bring it.
Just did.